This is a night fury hatchling, small enough to fit in the palm of my hand. His wings are soft, his claws barely formed, and his massive green eyes blink at the world like he doesn't understand how big it is yet. And this is the same dragon fully grown, hovering inside a military arena, his entire body glowing electric blue as he launches a plasma blast powerful enough to erase a giant kaiju. In just a few months, he went from this tiny creature to that unstoppable force. And the scariest part is not how strong he became, it's how fast it happened. It all started with a single black egg. Night Furies don't hatch in nests, they need constant heat, so I kept it warm day and night, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Heaters, sensors, backup batteries, I monitored everything. Because if the temperature dropped even slightly, the embryo inside would die instantly. 2 enormous green eyes opened and locked onto me. He was born. At first, he looked completely harmless. He wobbled on the kitchen counter, sniffing everything around him. When I slowly reached out my hand, he gently touched my finger with his nose. That was the first moment of trust. I built him a reinforced glass enclosure with warm stones and a heat lamp, something safe but strong enough to contain him. For his first meal, I gave him fruit and meat. He sniffed both carefully and chose the meat without hesitation. Even as a hatchling, his instincts were clear. But the next morning, everything changed. Overnight, he had grown. His wings stretched wider, his body thickened with muscle. His tail looked stronger, heavier. The enclosure that felt oversized the day before suddenly looked too small. Within days, cracks began forming in the reinforced glass. He was growing too fast. I had no choice but to move him to the countryside, transporting him in a large reinforced trailer because he no longer fit inside a normal space. In the open field, he tried to fly for the first time. He spread his wings and jumped. He fell hard. He tried again. Another fall. Frustration built in his eyes. He wasn't giving up. Then everything changed in seconds. A mountain lion burst from the tall grass and charged straight at us. I froze, but he didn't. He spread his wings wider than ever before and pushed off the ground. For the first time, he truly lifted into the air. He hovered above the predator, silent and steady. Then he dove at full speed. The mountain lion panicked and ran. In that moment, he wasn't a hatchling anymore. He was my guardian. After that, his growth accelerated. His muscles became defined. His claws sharpened. His wings grew broader and stronger. One evening, I noticed something strange. A faint spark inside his mouth. At first, I thought it was static. Then the energy began to build. The air around him vibrated. His chest glowed faint blue. And suddenly, his first plasma blast exploded outward, tearing through the air and slamming into a distant rock. Even he looked shocked by the power he had just released. That's when I built a training ground. Massive stone blocks became targets. He learned to control the charge instead of letting it explode randomly. He learned to hover midair before firing. He learned to focus. During maximum charge, his entire body would glow electric blue, energy flowing through his wings like lightning. The ground trembled when he released a blast at full strength. And he kept growing. Bigger, stronger, more dangerous. I realized it was no longer safe to stay in your civilization, so we flew to a remote island in the middle of the ocean. There, we built a shelter together. He carried logs like they were weightless. He moved stones that would take machines to lift. We trained every day. His plasma blasts became precise, controlled, devastating. He could charge in complete silence, hover in place, and unleash energy powerful enough to turn solid rock into dust. But we weren't alone. High above us, a satellite tracked every single energy spike. The military detected the anomaly. They analyzed the footage. They saw the power levels, and they made a decision. One morning, the sky filled with helicopters and jets. The sound was deafening. Before I could react, a missile launched. It struck him midair. The explosion threw him downward in flames and smoke. He crashed into the ground. Soldiers surrounded him instantly. Heavy steel cables wrapped around his wings and body. He roared and struggled, but the cables tightened. Helicopters lifted him off the ground and carried him away like he was nothing more than a weapon. They brought him to a massive military arena. Cold steel walls, blinding floodlights. They released him in the center. For a moment, there was silence. Then the enormous gates began to open. From the darkness stepped a giant cloned kaiju, engineered for combat, armored and towering over him. The first strike from the kaiju shook the entire arena, cracking metal and splitting the ground. But he dodged. He rose into the air, wings cutting through the smoke. His body began glowing brighter than ever before. Blue energy surged across his wings, his chest, his neck. This was maximum charge. The air distorted around him from the pressure. Then he unleashed the most powerful plasma blast of his life. A beam of blinding blue light tore across the arena and completely engulfed the kaiju. When the smoke cleared, the monster was gone. He stood alone in the wreckage. Then he smashed through the roof and disappeared into the night sky. I thought it was over, but deep inside a secret laboratory, far from the arena, another egg began to crack. This one glowed red from within,
The shell split. A red night fury pushed its way out, its scales darker, its posture more aggressive, its eyes not green, but burning with cold calculation. And if my dragon had grown this powerful in just a few months, what will this one become?